Hey boys and girls, we're here at the edge of the Souhegan High School softball field, which abuts the Souhegan River. So for class today, we are going to take a virtual tour of the Souhegan River and the woods that surround it. And we're going to spend some time making observations about the geosphere, the hydrosphere, the biosphere, and the atmosphere. So let's get to it. Sorry for the motion sickness as I walk. As we go through this trail, I'll point some stuff out, but I also want you to be making observations. I'll stop and be silent. Remember to use your senses of sight and sound. It is quite windy today and also very sunny. There's not a cloud or very few clouds in the sky. It is cool, maybe mid-50s, and here we come out to the river, and the river is definitely high because we've gotten some rain the last couple days, almost 4 inches of rain actually this week. So as we look upriver, that's headed towards the Souhegan, not Souhegan, Boston Post Road, where Souhegan High School is located. If you continue further, you go towards the Amherst Country Club golf course, and even further up, you're behind the Shaws in Milford. The river kind of flows that way. The Souhegan River starts west of Wilton, New Hampshire, and is a little narrow stream there, kind of widens out as it comes down through Milford and Wilton and Milford, and then here we are in Amherst along the Souhegan River, and we did take a peek at the map of part of that river. You can see that there's lots of trees along the edge of the river that are starting to grow their leaves and send foliage out. You can also see as we look downstream that the bank where the river is high, but the bank is also starting to fall and erode into the river. The trees downstream are eroding into the river as well. So let's go ahead, we're going to take a peek and walk down that way. This black pipe is irrigation. They do pull water out of the river to irrigate the softball field for Souhegan. Out here on the walking path, we have a really cool couple species of trees that I'm going to point out to you. The first one is this one. It's called a shagbark hickory tree. The leaves are not out yet, so I cannot show you the leaves, but this tree is one that grows mostly in wet areas, so you're only going to find it usually along the edges of rivers. We call this the riparian zone, so the dirt is a little bit different. Here it's more fertile. We'll spend some time looking and talking about soil down here. There's lots of evidence of all kinds of different trees and shrubs that are growing. Lots of those are white pines that are coming up because there's a big open light space. White pines are some of the first trees that will come up in the forest when you have an open space. And part of the reason that is because white pine trees do not need rich soil. So they can have very acidic soil, which New Hampshire tends to have, both because of the rocks we have and also because of all the pine needles from the pine trees. Also, white pine trees have pine cones, and the pine cones, the seeds within the pine cones are easily dispersed, meaning they're easily spread out. All kinds of things eat them, from turkeys to chipmunks and squirrels to mice and voles sometimes. And any of those animals that break the pine cones apart to get the seeds will help to spread those seeds out. You can see we're walking past a bunch of really big old pine trees, white pine trees. All right, we're gonna walk out onto a peninsula. As you can see on our right, the river has come around, and the river, sorry, I'm moving kind of fast for you. The river's also on our left. All right, we're gonna walk out to this giant peninsula. You can go ahead and go back and look at your Google Earth map that we looked at in class also, and see where the peninsula is, and I pointed it out in class as well. And you can see the path, this peninsula, the path is here, but it is starting to erode away. What do you think might happen in time? Will this peninsula even be here? What do you think could happen as time goes on with this little narrow piece of land? Water is amazing and it can do lots of really cool things. So I want you to take a little bit of time to think about that as we walk out to the edge of this peninsula today. As we move along out on this peninsula, there's my shadow, sorry. You can see one of the most common low-growing bushes that we have out here. These are actually blueberry bushes. They're very common as well. We actually have some flowers already coming for the blueberries, which is awesome. We're hoping it's going to be a good berry season that's good for us and good for the organisms out here. We also see some evidence of beaver. So that is a tree that was cut down years ago by a beaver. Here's another one on the side here. Okay, and the reason you can tell that it's a beaver is because it has teeth marks. Here's some more recent branches that were cut by beaver, and you can see how the teeth marks here are cut. And the beaver will actually chew down these branches and trees. You can see this guy has a whole bunch of branches that are taken. The beaver will chew these branches off in order to help him build his lodge. They also eat, look, the whole path is gone here. And actually it's pretty cool. That looks to be a slide. So I know it's probably hard to see on the camera, but there's actually marks and tracks down there.